This is the story of Fred Koenekamp. We will start by introducing Mr. Koenekamp Sr., Hans Koenekamp. Hans Koenekamp was a cinematographer for Senate Studios. He was discovered for his unique work as a projectionist. Hans Koenekamp worked with all the greats. Here he is pictured with Ernest Hemingway. Fred Koenekamp was born November 11, 1922, in Hollywood, California. At age 18, he joined the Coast Guard. After returning from the Coast Guard, Fred met Janice Lowe while on a double date. Fred and Janice knew they were meant for each other, and 4 months later, they were married. Fred got his first job at RKO Studios as a film loader. He spent the following years learning every aspect of the business and working his way through the ranks. Fred endured the highs and lows of the business. His persistence paid off. You can say he ended up with a very high position. Fred became director of photography. Here we see Fred working hard on the set of Bells Are Ringing. Fred worked on this project with director Vincent Minnelli. Here we see Fred preparing to film a driving shot. Here we see Fred bringing his parents to visit a set. Here they met Elvis Presley. Fred worked with all the greats. Here we see him pictured with Glenn Ford. Fred even got to work with a young Liza Minnelli. Fred also made many friends on set. Here he is pictured with good friend Steve McQueen. Fred worked with many great actors, like Anthony Quinn. Here Fred is pictured with Kirk Douglas. And lastly, we see Fred with Burt Reynolds. Fred very much enjoyed his career. He got to travel throughout the United States and visit many parts of the world. Here we see him celebrating a birthday party in Hawaii. It was a surprise birthday party for him. Early on in life, Fred wanted to be a commercial pilot. So when he got the opportunity to work on a U.S. carrier, he was very excited to do so. Here we see Fred pictured throughout the U.S. carrier. Fred worked in all kinds of weather. Here we see him working in the snow while on the set of Patton in 1969. Fred Koenekamp was one of the pioneers when it came to working with underwater cameras. Here we see Fred working on Island in the Stream in 1976. Whether on land or in water, Fred and his crew always got the shot. In 1978, Fred Koenekamp worked on the classic film The Champ. Fred worked on this project with the great Franco Zeffirelli. Here we see Fred with a surprise family visit on one of his movie sets. Fred Koenekamp retired at the age of 67. Throughout his career, Fred worked on about 90 projects and worked on great films such as Patton. Fred has received many awards throughout his career. They can be seen proudly displayed at his home at the Village. Fred Koenekamp has had the honor to be nominated for Emmy Awards. He has also been nominated for Oscar Awards. Fred Koenekamp was nominated for and won an Oscar for Director of Photography on the film Towering Inferno in 1974. When I asked Fred which one of his awards was his favorite, he said his 2005 Lifetime Achievement Award was his favorite. I asked him why. Fred told me it's because he was nominated by his peers, and that's why he holds this award so close to his heart. Fred and Janice Koenekamp were married for 62 years. They traveled all around the world. Together, they visited England, France, Spain, North Africa, just to name a few places. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure to narrate the achievements of the great director of photography, Fred Koenekamp.